Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy. Wheeler Yuta is like a star now because he had a match with Jon Moxley on Rampage and it was amazing. That's right, everybody. We're starting with Rampage this time. I'm excited to talk about this. Welcome to the WrestleTalk podcast review of SmackDown and Rampage. Rampage first. I'm Chopper Pete Quinnell. It's Tempest. It's me and Tempest back doing a podcast. It's been like 3 weeks.
I feel like this is a more irregular pairing than many of the other ones that I've done recently.
Yeah. It's crazy. But we're going to be talking about Rampage first. Get in your Ultrachats to WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll go through all your messages that are $5 up by the time the show goes off the air. But let's talk about this main event match that happened on Rampage.
Very quickly, before we do that, I love realizing as soon as you hit the 30-second countdown that I have nothing that I need open. I don't have the Ultra Chat doc. I don't have the podcast shout outs. Nothing. Yep. It's the 30-second scramble to find everything. But we're good now. This match was amazing.
This match was so good. I'm
debating whether I liked this one or Briscoe's FTR more. Because this was so perfect.
Yeah, this was absolutely spot on for what it needed to be, because we've already had the organic story of Wheeler Yuta kind of like fighting for the respect of the Blackpool Combat Club. And he had the match against Danielson before, and Regal's been impressed with him and slapped him, which I guess is his form of respect. And then we have this match against Moxley. We had the promo on Dynamite where Regal was saying, look, he's impressed Danielson. He's impressed me. But now he needs to impress Moxley. And the main event split screen promo was so good. Moxley is an absolute master of what he does. And he's literally just like, I don't care about you. I don't care about respect. I don't care about anything to do with you. I'm just going to put your guts all over the mat. And it's like, okay, I believe you. Brilliant, like, little promos to start things off. And Yuta referencing their history as well, being like, you embarrassed me. The first time that we wrestled, you won in, like, minutes. Oh, it's just...
I just love it.
Referencing their own history and showcasing a wrestler's growth. It's... perfect. Love it.
It's like... It's not hard, is it?
No,
I feel like people have made this process so much more complicated than it needs to be. They took a guy... Now, granted, Wheeler Yuta is great. And I love Wheeler Yuta. And I've been campaigning for Wheeler Yuta to get signed and pushed the whole time. Love Wheeler Yuta. You take the right guy. You push him for 3 weeks. And he's a star.
Yep.
It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, man. It's not rocket surgery or brain science. Like,
exactly, yeah.
I can't comprehend how perfect this was. Like, they nailed every bit. And I found it very interesting with this match because there were a bunch of things involved here that might be looked at as negative in the context of other matches, right? Heavy blood, stuff like that. But all of the things that might be detract from other matches added so much to this match. The blood added so much to this match. And it doesn't need to be like every Cody Rhodes match where, he's juiced. But the blood does help certain matches. And this was definitely one of them. This match had like everything that you need. It had the most perfect finish I could possibly imagine. I know we're not even there yet, but I'm jumping ahead. Wheeler Yuta was able to be like really cool, and he's a badass. Like, he's stepping up to the challenge. Oh. Meanwhile, you've got Pete Dunne throwing a temper tantrum and they're expecting him to get over. You've got Wheeler Yuta being a badass. Badass standing up to one of the hardest men in AEW and holding his own pretty well.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a star-making performance like this, and I do not know how long.
Right? This was absolutely perfect for what they wanted. This was designed to get Wheeler Yuta over, and boy, howdy did it. Because the crowd were already kind of organically into the underdog story of Yuta needs to prove himself to the established star. But then throughout the match, like you said, the blood. Here's an interesting point, actually. Just a quick little side tangent. on the aspect of blood, because I watched my partner, who's a paramedic, by the way, that's her credentials for this, was watching
far smarter and more well educated than either of us.
Absolutely. She was watching part of Revolution with me when I watched that live. She watched some of it with me. She didn't make it through the whole show because she got tired, but she was watching part of it with me. And I think it was the CM Punk MJF match when Punk started bleeding. She just turned to me. She just went, "I mean, that's not real." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I mean, that's not blood. That's not how blood acts. That's not real blood." And I was like, "Huh, weird." She was like, "I mean, it just isn't. That's just not how blood reacts to anything." And I was like, huh. So maybe it's like a blood capsule or something?
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past like AEW to avoid using a blade. You know what I mean? Like,
effect's the same, right?
Know.
But
yeah,
I showed her this one. Granted, this was just a picture that I showed a reviewer, and I was like, real or fake? She was like, I can't tell. Because it doesn't quite look like blood, but also it could act like that if it was like mixed with sweat and stuff. So it's possible for it to still like run like it was and all that stuff. And I was like, huh, this is interesting. I don't know if it was. I think the effect is still absolutely the same. I just thought it was interesting to think about whether it's like blading or whether it's like a blood capsule or how they achieve the desired effect. But whatever it is, the desired effect is great. Because like you said, it really adds like an element to this match of like, it's the extra element. It's like the same thing as the moment of Bret Hart and Stone Cold, you know, the passing out on the sharpshooter and all that stuff. And it's the same thing of him screaming with a bloody face and fighting through the pain. It adds that extra element of you to connect to. It adds that emotional element to it. And it's the same thing with this one, though it was slightly inverted because Yuta was on the offense. In the moment that I remember was Yuta getting on the bulldog choke onto Moxley and screaming through his like bloody mask that he had. It was such a perfect moment. And like you said, it adds the extra emotional layer to it. And then you got to further on in the match with the near falls where Moxley out of nowhere, like Yuta's just mounting a comeback. Come on, Yuta, let's go. Moxley catches him, paradigm shift. And you go, oh, well, you know, he put up a good fight. 1, 2, kick out. What? Like, kicks out of the paradigm shift. It was like, that's insane. Oh my God. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. High angle paradigm shift. There we go. Oh, okay. Wow. Great fight from Yuta. 1, 2, kick out. What? I lost my mind when he kicked out that second one. Could not believe it. And like you said, it was another element that sometimes in other matches can detract from that. But in this match, the false finishes added so much. It showed like the heart and the passion that Yuta has to try and like win this respect and overcome the odds against Moxley. And I think it was, if you wanted to pinpoint a moment in this match where Moxley became respectful of Yuta, it was probably him kicking out of those paradigm shifts.
I was just going to say that. Like, he kicks out and Moxley sits up and has the big surprise face. And that was another one, the big surprise face. A lot of people complain about now because it happens like 6 times a show. You know, someone kicks out of the side effect and Matt Hardy's like, what? No one's ever kicked out of the side effect except every time. That's just an example. I don't have footage of Matt Hardy doing this, so don't tag him in any of this. But you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people will do the I can't believe he kicked out face. And this was a really perfect addition to the story because the story is meant to be he's impressing the club. He's impressing the guys. So it means more that Jon Moxley is surprised and impressed by Wheeler Yuta's performance than if this was just another match where the guy kicked out of his finish. Wouldn't mean nearly as much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pete. I really do love this angle.
So
like,
good.
You know, I think I mentioned in the edited review, which may or may not have come out at this point. I don't know when our edited reviews come out anymore. It is probably out. It's out. So if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody has like their perfect thing in wrestling. I think this is it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think this faction, this story, like, it's got all the people I love in it. It's got Jon Moxley, one of my favorite guys. It's got Bryan Danielson, one of my favorite guys. William Regal is the manager, doing commentary on this show. He's still one of the best commentators. Everything he said, this is the first match, jumping all over, but everything he says on commentary gets more out of the match. It gets the people over, even in defeat. He's just such a pro, and he's the manager, and I love it. And they're recruiting people that I love. Wheeler Yuta, maybe Lee Moriarty's next. Maybe, I don't know who else, but this is a faction. And if I may, I've got notes today, folks, because I
my goodness,
to make sure. I think they're mostly all Rampage notes because I
makes sense.
Can't be bothered. I have a prediction, and I don't know how to quantify this over time, but my prediction is that by the time that the Blackpool Combat Club disbands, breaks up, goes their separate ways, whatever, they will be my favorite faction of all time.
That's a big call.
They are off to such an amazing start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love this main event. I really did. It
touched
me. It touched this part of myself that wants to be a wrestling fan deep down. This was just like, that's my wrestling.
Exactly. It's such an emotional connection, and people have said it before, like when wrestling hits those notes, there's nothing quite like it. And I do agree. This is one of those moments where you just go, this is wrestling. This is perfect. And we didn't even get to the end of this match because he hit that high angle paradigm shift. Yuta kicks out, and Moxie's like, well, screw you then, and just gets on and just chokes him out immediately afterwards.
Doesn't tap.
More importantly, doesn't tap.
Very important. Very important. Again,
which was great.
Like Steve Austin and Brett.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then everyone's like, oh man, like Yuta didn't win. But man, he put on such a good show. Out comes Regal and Danielson. They come down. Regal's physicality on this bit. He was like stalking Wheeler Yuta, like moving around the ring, just like, it was so perfect. And then Yuta just kneeling, can't even get to his feet, and he's like, come on, bring it. I'm here. Do what you want to do. I don't care anymore. Beat me up. I don't care. I'm here. I'm ready. And he gets up, and Regal just offers the handshake. It was perfect. Yuta accepts the handshake. Moxley gets up in Yuta's face and said the hard work begins now. Yuta then takes the blood and writes BCC on his chest in his own blood. Amazing.
If I could marry a wrestling segment, I would marry this wrestling segment. This is perfect. Oh, I just adore this sort of thing. You know, like it's sports based, but there's still characters involved, and guys are wrestling different styles, so all the matches are different. This is what I've always wanted out of wrestling. And I know that's like very exaggerated and hyperbolic and everything, but literally, like, I don't know how you could do this angle better so far. It is perfect drama. Absolutely perfect. And I don't know how quickly I'm going to be able to upload this to StreamYard, but there's one picture that I do want to put on the thing. So if you have any other final thoughts about this wonderful match.
My notes. My first note, well, after the match actually started, was Yuta started the match with a dive, by the way. Like, before the bell even rang, he just dives out the ring, starts brawling with Moxley in the crowd before they even get in the ring and the bell rings, right? Which is great. That was my first note. My next note is Yuta kicks out of the paradigm shift, because I didn't take any notes because I was so into the match, Tempest. All in capitals. Yuta kicks out of the paradigm shift. Holy S. And then all in capitals gets, what the F? He kicked out of the high angle paradigm shift. Moxley chokes him out. Insane. What the F was that? It's brilliant.
That covers it.
Yeah, it was such a perfect match.
You want to see a perfect picture?
I know the one you're going to put up. There it is.
Look at everything that's going on right here. Oh, I want like an oil painting of this. William Regal with the like sinister smile over. Wonderful. Oh, no,
it's a smile. Danielson putting the belt on Yuta, who's still bleeding, looking like triumphant in defeat. Oh, it was perfect. That's what that was.
ROH Pure title too.
Yeah.
That might matter to like me and 4 other people, but that's cool.
It's pretty cool, right? I love it. Oh, man.
I'm so happy to see one of my favorites get pushed. Like, it's so cool watching the progression happen in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is... I have nothing else to say. This was amazing. It's such a good match. Please go out of your way to watch it. Because it's so good. Which is insane, because I thought the match of this week was going to be FTR and Young Bucks. And then Rampage was like, nah.
Imagine being at that show. Imagine being at that show and getting both of those matches.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. Just as a general note about Rampage as well, the fact that we have been talking in recent weeks and months being like, man, this is really definitively becoming like the B show, right? Like, you know, we're not getting that much like storyline progression. We're just having kind of like this, having some featured people on it, but it's always like the Team Taz show, and Keith Lee's there, and Ricky Starks is there, and all that stuff. And they have their feuds over there, and occasionally we'll have like a fun match, but there's nothing really like, you're not really missing that much. And then on this show, they were like, we're going to put on Bryan Danielson versus Trent Beretta with William Regal on commentary. He goes, okay, that's 1, fun, and 2, storyline progression. Love it. And then you have the main event with storyline progression. And next week, we're getting an AEW world title match in a Texas death match. Like, what? Okay.
Someone must have said something. Like,
right?
Hey, we need to put something more on Rampage. And then they just went all the way the other direction.
Yeah.
Let's put the world title match on Rampage. I think this is Hangman's first appearance on Rampage.
I think you might be right,
match.
you know?
Yeah.
Man, I'm excited for that regardless. Let's get into doing some of your Ultra chats. We're going to talk about the rest of Rampage afterwards, and we'll do then SmackDown after that as well. The Raw after SmackDown. SmackDown after WrestleMania.
The Raw after SmackDown, after WrestleMania, after Rampage.
That's the one. On the subject of Rampage, might as well do these ones. Graham Shaw said, since he hit a 10 on the blood scale, do we start calling him Wheeler Muta? Great match. I can't wait to see Wheeler versus Trent building off this show. Also, I don't know much about anime, but Hook Danhausen looks like what I've seen of Joestar together.
Sure. Interesting. Not the connection that I would have made, but okay. Yeah. I rock with it.
And yeah, Wheeler Trent should be a very fun match.
I can't wait for people to care about that match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if they put Trent and Wheeler, like that's a dark match 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Ignore the fact that they're in the same faction, but that's a dark match. Now it's like a featured storyline match. I like that.
It's good. JT Guy 5500 said, I've never been much of a Yuta fan, but that match won me over. Him screaming and smearing the blood on his chest and kicking out of the paradigm shift made me say Yuta won't die. Blackpool Combat Club for life. Jam that jam. So good. So good. You know, I think I mentioned this to Luke when I did a Dynamite review with him last week. So like, I wasn't really a fan of the name Blackpool Combat Club when it first got introduced. I was like, I feel like they could have come up with a better name. And since then, I've just gone, maybe it's perfect. You know, maybe it's great.
Yeah.
Because it's really good, isn't it? Like, it's really grown on me since it got introduced. Charlesburg. This is the wrestling I like. When wrestlers fight, scratch, and claw. I want drama in my wrestling, don't get me wrong. Storylines add to matches, but I also want the wrestlers to be treated as top-level athletes battling tooth and nail for the victory. I think you can have both, and this was a perfect example of that. The story was told through the match.
That's the best way to do it, in my opinion. You know? Because to me, and not to go off on a tangent, but in my opinion, pro wrestling at like the highest level is the most impressive form of performance art that I think there is. Like at the very highest level, considering the athleticism involved, the storytelling involved, the psychology involved, I think wrestling at its highest level is like the best form of performance art.
Yeah.
This is like when you take the story and you perform it in the ring, as opposed to other companies where we see angles and then there's a 3-minute match to distract you and now we're back to the angles. All the storylines happen outside of the ring. I don't like that.
Charles Berg again said, on WWE you get one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of New Japan, a bona fide badass, look like a dumb chump. On the other show you get a relative unknown digging down deep and earning the respect of 3 legends in the industry and becoming a star. Agreed. My God, we have so many old chats about Rampage.
Yeah, people really wanted to talk about this show.
I just
oh
scrolled
yeah,
down.
it was a good show.
Kimchi Cowboy said, well, I wonder if Tony will pull a Luke and use his veto star card for SmackDown. That Yuta match is my match of the night thus far. Match of the year thus far, sorry. The story in this match was perfection, and I've never seen an AEW crowd cheer anyone over Mox. Go beat Luke, Chopper, jam that jam. That's the plan. Stay tuned for the Monday Night War. Next episode coming on Monday, and it's the pay-per-view episode. Episode 5, WrestleMania Backlash. It's a fun one, promise. Kimchi Cowboy again said, Ultra Chat for Andrew Johnstone. He said he's turning 30 and wants a shout out from the boys. Shout out to Andrew Johnstone for turning 30.
Good job. You made it.
Now you're turning 30. Sorry, said, what Mox did with Yuta reminded me a lot of the match Mox had with Darby for the AEW title back in summer 2020 without a crowd. Totally different matches, yet still both got me emotionally. Yuta is a madman and a star now. Amazing.
I agree. How much further along do you think so many guys would be if we just had a crowd for a year and a half?
Yeah.
You know?
Right?
Like if you had these moments, but with like Darby Allin and Jungle Boy and like everybody you can think of, all the young stars. There was just fans the whole time.
Yeah.
The way it should have been.
Mark Flay said the main event was amazing. Yuta's been made a star.
Indeed.
Sure has. CK Mirth said, William Regal, if you know anything about wrestling, elevates anyone and anything he's involved in. The BCC is incredibly exciting, and Yuta's gone from best friend jobber while he learns to an unbelievably exciting talent. WWE, you effing idiots.
Yeah, they passed on him. They didn't want Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah. They fired Samoa Joe.
They did.
Twice.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yeah. How's that Ridge Holland treating you? You know? Almost.
Anyway. It's Polo
that.
said, I love everything about the rebirth of Ring of Honor so far. The way Tony is using AEW talent so far to enhance the name value on Ring of Honor is how it should be forever, and using AEW's big fan base and platform to enhance Ring of Honor mainstream popularity. Also, Yuta is so good.
I've also been a fan of how they've used Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting Minoru Suzuki.
Talk about that more later. Christopher said, out of all the matches already announced for next week, Keith and Swerve versus Team Taz, Eddie and PNP versus JAS, Jurassic Express versus Red Dragon, and Suzuki versus Samoa Joe, which you guys are most excited for? I'm looking forward to Murder Grandpa versus Joe myself. Same!
Yeah, Joey Samoa.
It's you
That's
know when
an
like
all-time dream match.
Like a few years ago, you would have said like, oh, pick one person from WWE, one person from New Japan. Who would you have a match? Like Joe versus Suzuki is like up there for like matches you could put on.
This is like a real dream match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every once in a while you get guys who come over and it's like they have a really good match and it's a big match, but I don't know if like a lot of people are dying to see whatever it is. I don't know that a lot of people were dying to see Jon Moxley and Satoshi Kojima, right?
Mm-hmm.
At All Out last year. I love Kojima, one of my favorite guys ever. I have his picture somewhere. This is like a dream match. Samoa Joe and Minoru Suzuki. Yes, please. I will take seconds and thirds.
Kimchi Cowboy again said, BCC needs Serena Deeb to join and handle the women. When Layla Hirsch gets healthy, have Layla Hirsch, Shafir, and Jamie Hayter join the club. Tony, book it. I feel like that might be too many people.
That might be too many people, but I like the idea of Serena Deeb being involved.
I do as well.
Of all the women in AEW, I think she fits this group the best.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I could see either... to be honest, I could see any of Hirsch, Shafir, or Jamie Hayter like fitting, but I feel like the story would need to be done right in order to tell that, rather than just like, and they join, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
thankfully it looks like they're taking better care of this story than just they're in the group.
Yeah. Sarah the Thinel, didn't butcher that name.
Nailed it. First try.
Yep. Wheeler Yuta is a future world champion. Maybe.
Bold. There's a lot of time left.
Yeah.
In eternity.
Honestly, it's really hard to say in AEW because in AEW, not being a world champion is not like a bad thing. It's not like, oh, you're not world champion? Well, you're nobody. You know? It's like they're very, very selective about who their world champions are. They have long reigns. So it's like even if someone doesn't become a world champion, like I could genuinely see Darby Allin never being a world champion, right? But that doesn't mean he's a bad talent or not amazing, because he is. But even if he doesn't win, he's still going to be regarded as one of like the best AEW talents of like ever, right? So it's hard to say.
These world titles mean more the less people who have it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
it's
the
exclusive.
more exclusive. Yes, the more it's like the IWGP title used to be, when like 4 different people held it for like 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Alex Melchior said, Yuta is a star. Also, with William Regal persistently putting down the best friends and their goofiness on commentary, do you think AEW will tie in the Hook and Danhausen storyline and bring Hook into Combat Club? Vladdy for MVP. Let's go Blue Jays.
Yeah. Baseball. That's real, though. Vladdy Jr. for AL MVP. Means nothing to you. But...
will they bring Hook into the Combat Club? I don't know.
No,
I don't think
Hook
so.
is going to be the one that beats everyone in the Combat Club to become world champion. He beats Jon Moxley to become world champion after beating Bryan Danielson first in like 2 minutes.
That would be in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes.
Tempest, comment.
That's the part that's unrealistic.
Yeah, it is. Omar Hosue said, hey guys, Wheeler Yuta is the next big effing thing. The BCC is doing so awesome, and I can't wait to see how it goes. That being said, did you guys see that next week is Joe versus Suzuki? A nice week of fine murders. Love you guys. Yes.
Best kind of murders.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited for that match. Yeah. So excited for that match. We'll get into more of your Ultra Chats later. Keep sending those into WrestleTalk.com/support. But for now, let's talk about the rest of Rampage, which kicked off with more BCC action because it's Bryan Danielson versus Trent Beretta, William Regal on commentary. I wrote all in capitals, Regal on commentary, because he's so good. And also, I just want to point out what brilliant storytelling it is to have Danielson versus Beretta at the start of the show and Moxley versus Yuta at the end of it, to have Regal on commentary beforehand, to talk about the best friends and why he doesn't like them, to have Danielson beat up Trent Beretta and be like, look how bad the best friends are. They suck. They're not very good enough. They're not good enough for a guy like Yuta. And then you have later Yuta winning their respect. It just works. It's so good.
It does. The only thing I would change about all this is I probably would have put Regal on commentary for the main event too.
Yeah.
Just because he's so good at it. Like, he hasn't done consistent commentary for like 10 years since like he was last doing it in NXT. He's so good at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, put him on Rampage instead of Jericho every week. Please.
Damn right.
That's like an actual request.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Please
real.
do that.
Really good call to have this open. My first note for this match is, God, this is so fun. Because it was so fun. The two went back and forth quite a bit. Danielson kind of beat the hell out of Trent Beretta quite a lot in this match. In a really good way. Regal putting over, like, look, Trent Beretta's great, but he's hanging around with a bunch of idiots, and they're a bunch of idiots. They don't deserve to be, treated with respect. And I also really like the line where he said, I can have aspects of a person that I like. That doesn't mean I respect them. I can appreciate that Trent Beretta is in great condition. He's a great wrestler, but I don't respect him because he hangs around with the best friends. And I'm like, nice. Like that.
I believe him.
Yeah, I believe him, right?
I don't think they could have done something to make me happier than bring William Regal in at Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw that and I was like, that fits like a glove. That's perfect. And it's been perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
I love William Regal. Straight up gangsta tripping.
I loved the finish. I loved the finish of this match where Danielson hit the psycho knee. He hit the God style power driver. He did the stomps to the face. He went for the label lock, but he didn't really lock in the label lock. He just kind of wrenched Trent's face to the side, and it was like, that looks gruesome. Ow.
I love it.
And he was already kind of like out anyway from the stomps to the face, so it was just like the exclamation point on it. Oh man, what a great match.
If I could have both Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley wrestle on the same show for every show, I'd never complain.
Yeah, right?
when like half your matches on this show are Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley having really good matches, you're gonna have a good show.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they did.
They did. Danielson won, obviously. Great stuff. Trent still looked good in defeat as well. He didn't get, completely buried or anything like that. It was a good back and forth match. Great stuff. Mates Blackpool Combat Club looked great. Awesome.
2 thumbs up.
Nothing else to say. Lots of good stuff coming out of that. Hook was backstage. Doesn't answer any questions. He's all that in a bag of chips because he's eating some. Danhausen appeared out of a bin and then tried to curse him. And Hook then ignored him and threw his half-eaten chips in the bin. And then Danhausen picked them up and started eating them.
I laughed at that part. When he picked up the chips and ate them, I laughed. Otherwise, I don't like these two together. I need to protect Hook. I don't want Hook involved in comedy.
Yeah.
I want him to be like cool. And I don't think he's cool being the straight man to Danhausen.
Now, I'm going to be that guy, and everyone's going to really hate me for it.
Pete doesn't get Danhausen!
I don't know if I get Danhausen. I don't know if I understand. Like, someone, I can't remember who it was. I saw on Twitter. Someone posted a picture of Danhausen, and he's like, Danhausen's in a bin eating a bag of chips. Ha 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 ha. And I'm like, is that funny? I don't know if it is. Like, I don't know. It's probably just me. Everyone's really in on the meme. Everyone loves Danhausen.
I mean, it's not just you.
I just don't know if I don't know if I get it. And that's cool. People can like it. I'm not hating you for liking it. I just don't know if I get it.
I need to see the full picture in AEW. I need to see him wrestle. I need to see him do more than point at someone. It's like I've seen his shtick before. And I don't dislike the shtick. Like, he's an entertaining dude. But I needed to be doing something in this, and him just pointing at Hook and being like, "Why aren't my fake magic powers not working?" Like, doesn't really do anything for me,
Yeah.
Especially when I'd rather see Hook beating the entire Blackpool Combat Club at the same time.
Yeah, is what it is.
Yeah.
Hook's still good.
Yeah,
we love Hook.
Still Hook.
Okay. Another thing I didn't like on this show. Scorpio Sky cut promo.
Oh, every time I forget about the Dan Lambert segment.
Yeah.
Like, I forget that it happens. I'm just like, oh, forget about that. Put it out of my mind. Watch the good wrestling.
So, their kind of promo being like, I'm TNT champion and blah, 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 blah. Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti come out. Sammy Guevara says, would you please shut the hell up?
Linking with Chris Jericho.
That's a Jericho line. Which is weird.
Accident.
Because Jericho's the heel now. And he's like, hey, Chris Jericho. Which makes sense if Sammy Guevara's turning heel, which he should.
Damn well should.
God damn. This stuff with Ty Conti is not good. Like, as a babyface act, nope, bad. Do not be doing that. I don't understand what they're thinking with this. Also, apparently, from people in attendance, they got booed out the building, but AEW edited it for the live broadcast of Rampage.
Oh, don't do that.
How many
you're
times
not gonna get. Yeah, you're not getting a pass.
Listening to your fans, And then
you're not getting a pass for that one.
They're not faces. They just come out and being like, "Hey, we like sex, and
we're pretty people.
Us.
Look at us,
Yep.
We're gonna call you bitch and stuff."
And then, Ethan Page saying, hey, I've got kids, but they're in bed right now because I'm a great dad. And I was like, that's a good line from Ethan Page. And then Sammy Guevara just goes, I don't give a shit about your kids. And I was like,
you're not Brock
You're a
Lesnar.
babyface. What are you
can't
talking
say
about?
That. He's not Heath Slater.
Yeah.
You're not Brock Lesnar. Yeah, they need to turn these two ASAP. They have such popular kids he's a vlogger and she's really hot. They're the it couple. I don't need them saying it's America's favorite couple. Get out of here with that.
Really
Get
not,
out.
is it?
It's really not. Like,
Yeah.
I said in the edited review, I think them as heels could be what Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian were like supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like kind of the obnoxious heel it couple, but they're like, I don't think it's unfair to say that Sammy Guevara is above Kip Sabian on this AEW totem pole. So I would assume that it would therefore get more TV time and better matches and such, and it would probably work. This does not work. They need to be turned ASAP because I cannot cheer for the other side when the other side is Dan Lambert. Can't do it. Also, I am sad that I like the TNT title shows up on my TV and I'm sad. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
You can be a heel and say, I don't want to give out like open challenge shots and whatever, but like, I prefer the show when Scorpio Sky wasn't champion.
Yeah.
You know, like it's tough. I'd like to see him defend the title, but if him as TNT champion, if his run is Dan Lambert promos, hard pass. Get like, let's wrestle, defend the title, have some great matches, have your run as TNT champion. I'm waiting to see it.
At the minute, it's just them going back and forth about whether Sammy's going to get another shot and him not defending the title against anyone else.
Give him the title shot. Who cares? Just do it. He's had like 6 of them this year because he keeps losing the title.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Well,
I don't talk about fun things. Not Dan Lambert.
I don't like that act at all. QT Marshall is the sports entertainer of the week, and then faced Swerve Strickland. Swerve won. This was a decent little showing. Nothing super special about this match, but Swerve did a decent little showcase and won.
Yep.
Good. I'm glad. Yep. Ricky Starks did a promo afterwards saying it's going to be Starks and Hobbs versus Swerve and Lee on Dynamite. That sounds like a bunch of fun.
It sure does. And I know like it's kind of become a thing that Team Taz is like everyone's first, rivalry and everything in AEW. But I like Team Taz. And so it doesn't bother me. Like I like seeing people face Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. Mm-hmm. They're good wrestlers. So it's not like when you sign with WWE and your first TV match is The Miz.
Yep. Anyway, after that, we got a little video package for The Problem, Marina Shafir. They're really building up Marina Shafir versus Jade Cargill quite nicely, I think. It has a lot more hype than I would have thought it would have, which is quite nice. Mm-hmm. We then got...
Can I say one quick thing about Marina Shafir? Because I don't know if they did it for this one, but they have done this before and it made me think of it. They will advertise like, we'll hear from Chris Statlander. And the "we'll hear from" is one sentence in a 20-second video package. And I was like, that's bordering on false advertisement, if you ask me. But I just think it's like, whatever. I would prefer that over 9-minute video packages.
Oh, yeah.
6 times a show.
Yeah. We then had Owen Hart Cup qualify with Willow Nightingale versus Red Velvet. I had never heard or seen a Willow Nightingale before because I still haven't seen Supercard of Honor. I'm sorry. But goddamn, she's great.
Yeah, she's great.
Watching this match and I was like, she's really good. She should win this match. She was mega over as well with the crowd. Probably because she's very good. And so many near falls in this match of people popping for Willow's offense and her kicking out of big moves and stuff from Red Velvet. Red Velvet won, and she was people were like, "Oh, it's disappointing. I really wanted Willow to win." And then she started acting a bit heelish, and I was like, "Did she turn heel and I missed that?"
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know. Because the commentary there was definitely heelish things there. Yeah,
yeah, and the commentary was like, "I love this new attitude from Red Velvet," and I'm like, did she turn heel on Dark? Yeah. I'm confused.
So my general thoughts about Red Velvet currently, because I don't think she's particularly unlikable. She's just getting heat because she keeps wrestling the popular people.
Yeah,
and it's happened 4 times. Mm-hmm. She wrestled Britt Baker in Pittsburgh on the first Rampage. She wrestled Sky Blue in Chicago, where Sky Blue is from, and beat her, and everyone booed. I was there. She wrestled Jade Cargill when she was new and a star, and people were really into Jade Cargill. And now she's beating Willow Nightingale, who's like really popular with, in particular, this audience. I was like pleasantly surprised by the reaction she got, because I'm like, she hasn't been on a lot of big shows. Like, she's been on Dark a few times, I think. She was on Supercard of Honor, of course, but otherwise, it's been Ring of Honor stuff, which people weren't really watching too much when Ring of Honor shut down. So when she was able to get like a huge response, I was like, hell yeah, Willow, like, she's great. I'm happy that she's getting that response. I was just kind of like, a particularly knowledgeable crowd. That or Willow is just getting significantly more popular than I had realized.
Yeah, totally.
Should have won.
Yeah. I'm
should have won.
Confused by Red Velvet, but is what it is. Red Velvet won. It was a decent match.
I just think you could have, like, it would have been a better opportunity to do something fun with like an upset making their way into the tournament. Even if Willow were to like lose in round 1, that's still, to me, more fun than Red Velvet losing in round 1,
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We then had Mark Sterling trying to recruit Tony Nese backstage. Sure.
Cool.
Something.
Sure.
And then we got announcements of a bunch of matches, which we got through the show, of so many things. Because we've got Jurassic Express versus Red Dragon next week for the titles. We've got Joe versus Suzuki. Be still my beating heart. We've got the 6-man of Kingston and Proud and Powerful versus Jericho Appreciation Society. We've got, there's another 6-man I'm thinking of, I think. I might be wrong. I can't remember.
A lot of good matches coming next week.
Oh, yeah. Next week's Rampage, we've got the AEW World Title match of Hangman versus Adam Cole in a Texas Death match. Awesome. And we've got Battle of the Belts as well. Gonna have Nyla Rose versus
am I gonna have to do a goddamn review of that show?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Oh.
When is that? Is that next Saturday?
Probably. God. Stop making more content. It's too much content.
Stop putting on good shows.
Yeah,
God damn it.
You?
I can't wait for Suzuki versus Joe. I
can't wait.
I want it so bad. Oh man. I can't wait for that match.
There's a few Samoa Joe like New Japan matches that would be on that same tier. Like Joe and Ishii, Joe and Shingo Takagi, of course, Joe and Tanahashi Okada. But like the hard hitting, like you're gonna see a fight kind of match. This is like, it's Suzuki, it's Ishii, and it's Shingo. And we're getting one of them, and I'm excited.
God, don't cut off Suzuki's music, please. Now, Tempest, talk about SmackDown.
Okay, but let me just say, because this was the opening bit of my edited review, I could have gone to the Blue Jays home opener. Yesterday. There hasn't been a home opener in Toronto in like 4 years, because like our team has been forced to play in goddamn like rec centers in Florida. Look at Dunedin. I could have gone to that game, and I had to watch SmackDown. And in the first inning, we were not doing well. By the time the second inning had passed, we were down 7-0, and I was like, "Oh, maybe it's a good thing I didn't go to that game." Like, if it's like a bad game, you're gonna get blown out. Whatever, I'll watch SmackDown. Get like halfway through SmackDown, and I check my phone. It's like, oh, it's like 7-4. Oh, okay, so they're trying here. And I'm like refreshing, and all of a sudden it's now 7-7. And I was like, I once again regret my decision to not go to the Blue Jays home opener. And sure enough, I'm watching Ludwig and Gunther and whatever, and Raquel Rodriguez, just changing names for the sake of it. And they won 10-8, coming back from being down 7-0. And I had to watch the New Day talk about win-loss records in WWE. Woo! Blue Jays are winning the World Series. That's what's important.
Nice.
And I'm dressed for the occasion. Let's go.
Yep, you certainly are. Well, let's talk about this episode of SmackDown, which is the SmackDown after WrestleMania, which I still strongly believe should be called WrestleMania SmackDown, not the one beforehand. It just makes sense. If you're going to make them into things, WrestleMania Raw, WrestleMania SmackDown are the ones you do after WrestleMania. It's a hill I will die on. Anyway, we started with Ronda Rousey doing a promo. Why do you keep doing this, WWE?
It's like they find the worst thing that everyone does, and they make them do it over and over and over again. They're like, I can't understand why it doesn't work.
Yeah. The thing is,
get Malcolm Bivens on this show to talk for Ronda Rousey already, please.
Yeah. I'm going to address someone in the chat already that just said, was SmackDown that bad last night? Honestly, no. There was. It was an okay show. It was definitely way better than Raw because nothing happened on Raw. Jesus. But it was fine. And for the SmackDown after Mania, But regardless, Kayla Braxton introduces Ronda Rousey. She comes out and does a promo. she said, "Welcome to Friday Night SmackDown. Yay! Big cheer. Everyone, please welcome Ronda Rousey." And everyone, yeah. It's like a really muted cheer for that. We got a recap of Flair versus Rousey and Flair tapping. And she said she made a tap, but not when it counted. So that's on Rousey. Sure. Rousey then challenged her to an I Quit match at WrestleMania Backlash, which makes sense. I like that as a stipulation for this, for the next step. Thumbs up for that. Flair comes on the Titantron. I'm pretty sure we've seen this exact segment recently of Rousey cuts promo, Flair answers on Tron. And she just says no. Cool.
And then we wait until next week when they say yes.
Yep.
That's it. I will say that John Cena kind of ruined the I Quit match for a few years there because it was like, well, you're never going to lose. So why do I care if Rusev is facing you in an I Quit match or The Miz
or The Miz,
whoever? It's like it worked the first time when he wasn't the Super Cena never give up dude. The first one he did or the second one he did against Randy Orton was like the birth of the I never give up, I don't quit thing. And they gave up on the stipulation for everyone else after that. Like no one else had an I Quit match. It was like the Cena boring main event match. But I Quit matches are so fun. There's so much storyline potential there because you have to submit. Obviously, I'm explaining I Quit matches to people. But it works better when you don't have Superman being the other side of the I Quit match. I don't know who's going to win, Ronda Rousey or Charlotte Flair. Probably no. I would imagine Ronda wins this match, but I thought that at WrestleMania too. So I'll watch the match. I think it's a good stipulation for the storyline. I think it works. I wish they would stop make Ronda talk.
Yeah,
that sentence.
Legit.
It was just one word at a time. I wish they stop make Ronda talk. Stop making her do promos, please.
I think that their match at Backlash will be no contest, and then it will go to the next one, and then maybe Ronda will win, but maybe it will get dragged out till the next one. Then there might be a triple threat where Charlotte will retain, but Ronda won't get pinned, and then it'll get dragged out to SummerSlam where Ronda will win. And we're all gonna be sick to death of it by then.
You just explained it to me, and I'm sick to death of it now.
Yeah. After that, we got a recap of New Day versus Holland and Sheamus from WrestleMania. Then we got Xavier Woods versus Butch. Butch's in-ring debut as Butch, not as Pete Dunne, obviously. And okay,
Pat McAfee called him Pete.
Huh?
Pat McAfee called him Pete.
Yep.
And Michael Cole's like, no, someone's gonna clip you for that one or something. I was like, ha. He said the actual name, the one that's not dumb.
Oh, I'd just like to point this out. Where is it? Can't be a no contest because I Quit is no DQ. Tell that to Brock Lesnar at Hell in a Cell. It can happen.
Rules here. We don't follow rules.
What are
there are no
rules?
Even if the rule is that there's no rules, we won't follow that.
Yep, exactly. Anyway, I wrote a note at the start of this, and I feel like I regret this note. It says, honestly, I like Butch's intensity and like they can't control him. I wrote that as my note to start with. And then the match happened.
And yeah, I did.
So, also on Xavier Woods' entrance graphic said avid gamer. And I was like, that's the best.
Is that his intangible?
That was his intangible for this one. Kingston and Woods do a promo. Woods says he doesn't have a WrestleMania win. First off, what? And second off, Kofi's like, hey, do you remember Kofi Mania? And I was like, oh my God, don't bring up Kofi Mania. Jesus Christ. You're losing to Sheamus and Holland at WrestleMania. And then immediately you're like, haha, remember in 2019? Wasn't I great? And it was like, yes, you were. What happened? And then I got some heat in my edited review today, Tempest.
Oh, did ya?
Yeah, because I said I didn't like this. I didn't like this promo because them saying, hey man, like, because if WrestleMania is like a season finale, this is like a season premiere, which means our win-loss records are reset. And I was like, one, that's not how it works in WWE. Two, wins and losses don't matter in WWE. And three, that's a heel move to just be like, wins and losses don't matter. Hey, 0-0. Let's go again. You lost. You lost. That's it.
Piss off. I don't know that I have felt my intelligence be insulted by WWE like this week. You know? Get out of here talking about win-loss records.
Crazy.
Get out of here. Yeah. I was having none of this.
Yep. It's crazy. Also, Xavier Woods said in his promo that he bruised the weights. It's funny. Bruise a weight. It's funny. Pete Dunne. Anyway.
Do you know that he's calling this new roll up the backwoods? He said on Twitter, he like won with a roll up. He won with a small package. And he said he's calling it the backwoods. Because weed. Smoke backwoods on the weekends, Pete. You know?
Yeah. Cool.
Gotcha.
They gave this match quite a bit of time, which was nice. And not all of it in an ad break. So that was good. They got to wrestle a little bit. And I was like, you know what? This is pretty fun. This is good. And just as it was getting to the point where I was like, this is going to start crossing into like the climactic final act. This is going to start kicking up a gear and it's going to reach this next apex. Xavier was one with a roll up. I was like, the backwoods. Sure. Butch lost in his debut. Who cares?
And then he threw a temper tantrum, Pete.
He sure did. He got mad and started slapping and hitting Sheamus and Holland, and then they calmed him down and put him in the timeout corner. He literally sat on the turnbuckle. They put him on the turnbuckle, and he sat there, and then he crossed his arms like a little child.
Yeah, like me having to watch SmackDown.
Yeah,
I don't wanna. You know, you ever look at like UFC? Now they were really good for a while, like promoting fights with real people that you wanted to see fight each other. Think any of them ever like had a gimmick that they were a 5-year-old throwing a temper tantrum, or maybe that they're a virgin and they can't get a date, and they go to people and they're like, haha, I've never kissed a girl, haha, like gotcha. You think they would build up like UFC fights and pay-per-views like that? I don't think they would.
Don't know. Can't quite put my finger on a memory of that happening. Also, someone has absolutely nailed it, saying that he's Scrappy Doo.
He is Scrappy Doo.
He's Scrappy Doo. That's his thing.
Oh,
cool.
No, not you, Pete. Pete Dunne. You re-signed with this company. You knew what you were getting into, brother.
Yeah.
You'd seen all the name changes. I'm sure he's making a lot of money. I'm sure he's not bent out of shape about it.
If he's happy, good for him.
More power to you, Butch.
Sami Zayn was backstage. He's funny and says, I wanted an anything goes match, not an everyone's welcome match. That's a good line. I like that. And he was saying, you know, I'm so frustrated. The next person that walks through that door, I want a match with them. And then the person that walks through is Drew McIntyre. And then he was like, I want the next person. And Adam Pearce is like, nope, sorry, match is official. Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. We'll come back to this point later with Adam Pearce saying this match is official because I have thoughts and feelings. Adam Pearce then gets handed a note, which he reads and says, tell Ronda I can't meet with her right now. I'm like, okay. Curious. Ronda Rousey wants to meet with him and he's saying no. Why is that? I'm sure we'll find out. After that...
I don't like the idea that you've got this really big mainstream sports star and she wants to meet with you and you're their boss and you're like, nah, I don't have 15 minutes.
I think if there was a reason for him not wanting to meet her, it would be fine.
Sure.
I
just love the idea of someone blowing off Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Just being like, no, I'm not meeting with you. Get out of here.
Yeah. We then come back to the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah.
It's Marcel Bartel.
Yeah. I don't care anymore. They've killed me. They've ruined it. You know, everyone overreacting. It's just a name change. Gunther. Now they're on the main roster. He's losing to Braun Breaker. It doesn't matter. I don't care about Walter anymore. You've ruined Walter. Congrats. You still have a fun little squash match, and I'm sure he's going to have really good matches because he's still a really good wrestler. But I don't care anymore. You took away his music. It was like maybe my favorite wrestling entrance music.
Yep.
Just losing now. I don't care anymore. I can't care.
Yep.
And you made me not care about Walter.
Ludwig introduces him and says he's the epitome of efficiency and elegance.
Elegance?
What?
This was a promo written by someone who's never seen Walter.
Absolutely. 100%. He wears red now.
Yeah. They've changed everything. What more do you change about the guy?
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with Walter. And I don't want to get like mad because I'm going to a baseball game later today and it's not worth getting worked up over. But for God's sake, could you be worse at your job?
Yep.
Christ's sake.
Shout
out to Fabian Eichner who avoided all this. He's still home free. NXT for a while longer.
The one thing they haven't changed so far, there's still time, is his in-ring style.
Mm-hmm.
He still beat up Joe Alonzo, did a lot of chops, squashed him a bit. Yay, he wins. That's good. That's probably the most important bit of Walter to not change is his in-ring style. At least we've still got that. Also, the crowd started chanting Walter, and then the commentator said, Gunther chant starting here. I'm like, we have ears. That's not what they're saying.
Shout out to Ludwig. I always preferred Iggy. There's a Koopa Kids reference for you.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Also, no Fabian Eichner, of course.
Because you had to break up Imperium, too, while you were at it.
Yeah. We then got another call-up. Whoa! Things happening on SmackDown. It's Raquel Gonzalez. Nope. Raquel Rodriguez. Why? What was wrong with Raquel Gonzalez?
I don't know. I mean, at least this one is like a lateral move.
Sure.
I don't think that Rodriguez is any better or worse of a name than Gonzalez. So it's just like, why would you bother?
Yep. Los Lotharios come in and try to give her a kiss. She says no, and then says, and they always this annoying. I'm sure that's the main roster debut she's always dreamed of.
Yeah.
Happy Talk was next.
I didn't hate this Happy Talk for once.
Nor did I.
That's crazy.
I also still have thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
Madcap Moss was mega happy. He won the Andrew the Giant Battle Royal. Corbin lost his match at Mania. I kind of really liked this dynamic of them completely overplaying it, of Moss being like, well, hey, everything's great, and Corbin being like, stop. I thought that was decent. Also, them saying that Drew McIntyre ended his undefeated streak. He lost on the Raw before Mania. Stop lying. Anyway, There's a couple of deflated balloons on this set, which looked kind of funny. Corbin, I wrote, Corbin's going to blame Moss, isn't he? And Corbin's like, I've been on a journey and there's only one person to blame for my loss at WrestleMania. I was like, here we go. It's Madcap Moss. And okay. He then gives Moss the opportunity to tell some jokes because that's what he's supposed to do. Madcap Moss does some jokes. Corbin doesn't laugh. Corbin says, you've got one more chance to make me laugh, but do it like your job depends on it, because it does. And Madcap Moss, now I don't mean to toot my own horn here too much, but I believe I predicted this exact thing when this act came together, of Moss just becoming the template, cringy babyface that does the same cringy babyface jokes that John Cena did for like a decade. Because he did exactly that here against Corbin, and then they fought.
Okay, but positive Tempest, the babyface came out on top.
He did.
If you want to call Madcap Moss a babyface, which I guess he's the de facto babyface of this duo, I was so prepared for Baron Corbin to just beat this guy down, leave him laying, walk away.
Yep.
And he won the fight. Good. I'm more likely to cheer for you now.
Yeah. Also, how can Moss make fun of the way someone's dressed? Have you seen yourself, Moss? Crazy. But yes, Moss stood tall. So I guess they're probably going to have a match at Backlash.
Can't wait.
Cool.
Yeah.
Also, he was kind of over here. Probably shouldn't underplay that. Moss got a big reaction here. So you know what? If it works, I guess.
A babyface kicking ass.
Yeah.
It worked. Like,
I mean,
isn't it ever strange that, like, if you turn babyface, you all of a sudden can't fight? You lose every fight.
Mm-hmm.
Just have babyfaces win fights. They'll get cheered. That's the goal.
Jinder Mahal and Shanky were backstage with Adam Pearce. Jinder Mahal says that he wants an IC title match against Sami Zayn. Ricochet. Sorry.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And then, okay. Ronda Rousey comes in and asks Adam Pearce if her title match against Charlotte Flair has been made official. I have several questions. Charlotte Flair said no to the rematch, which in other title feuds and things like that, if the champion says no, then you don't get a match. That's just how it has worked before. Alternatively, if Charlotte saying no doesn't mean anything, then Adam Pearce can make the match. Because as we've seen on this show, Adam Pearce can make matches. So her saying, is my match official yet? And Adam Pearce saying, no, it's not official. I'm expecting an answer tomorrow. An answer from who? You're the one that makes the matches. What are you talking about?
It's the same garbage that was like when Brock Lesnar got suspended. It's like, oh, is Brock Lesnar's suspension going to be lifted? Oh, I got to take a phone call and find out. Phone call from who? Doesn't exist. There's no character above Adam Pearce.
Like, why can't Pearce just make the match?
Yeah, just do it.
I don't know. Weird. What are the rules?
There are no rules. We established that.
We got a match between two former NXT champions, Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn.
I tweeted something I was happy with.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy with my tweet on this one. I want to watch this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get excited about seeing Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn on a card.
Yeah.
That's a cool match. That is two former NXT champions that would have a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's this.
Yep. Sami ran away, count out loss.
Yeah. I don't understand why anyone would ever get excited about anything on any WWE show ever. They never give you one.
They're having a rematch next week. Why would I care? I've just seen it this week and it ended in count out. Why is next week going to be any different?
God, this really is why we do SmackDown first, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is why we end with Rampage.
But then, Tempest, it's positive time because Lacey Evans did a promo.
This was positive time.
This was good. This was probably the best Lacey Evans we've seen. She got to cut a very real promo that did not feel scripted in any way. It was just her talking like a person. Crazy how that endears you to someone. She talked about some quite heavy subjects, about like abuse she suffered when she was a child from her father, and how her mother and her had to kind of like pack up all this stuff and just leave without him knowing, and had to restart their life. And it's that struggle that she's had to overcome that makes her different from all the other women on the roster. Great. That's cool. It didn't feel like she was performing. It felt like she was talking. And that makes a lot of difference. Good. Apparently going to get the next chapter next week. It's the most invested I've been in Lacey Evans in probably ever. So that's nice.
I remember the last time someone was doing like a storybook thing where the next chapter was each week on SmackDown. I don't like how that story ended. Yeah, I'll be honest. I've never liked Lacey Evans' work like in WWE. This was like the first segment I've ever seen where I was like pleasantly surprised. It's like this whoever it was put out the report. They're like, "Oh, stars returning on SmackDown." I was like, "Who could this possibly be?" I saw Lacey Evans. I was like, "Oh God, we're adding Lacey Evans to this SmackDown women's division that half the time gets used, half the time doesn't." And I was not prepared for that to keep me away from this Blue Jays home opener. That being said, this was like a crazy good promo. Like, where did this come from? It felt like I like accidentally changed the channel in the middle of watching SpongeBob to like the Shawshank Redemption, to Schindler's List, to something like real and gritty. Like, where did this promo about like abuse and like and everything come from on this WWE Madcap Moss Joke Fest show? You know, it was very jarring, but
it was.
I would prefer this than that.
Yeah. I'd also just like to point out, in the nicest possible way, if that's what you took from what I just said, piss off. Maybe, you know, that's all I'm trying to say. Anyway, after that we got Sasha Banks versus Liv Morgan, and you know what? The women's tag stuff has been bad. Let's call it bad because it was bad. But I liked this part of the story because Liv Morgan is still insistent that her and Rhea are fine, when it's quite obvious that they're not. Rhea Ripley walked out on her on Monday, and for some reason they've got a tag title match next week. Let's gloss over that detail. But Liv Morgan was not accompanied by Rhea Ripley on this show. She's like, no, she's not with me, but I'm winning it for us, because I'm going to give us momentum going into next week. We're going to use that momentum. We're going to like derail Sasha Banks and Naomi's momentum, and hopefully we can win those tag titles back for us. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. It's signaling that Rhea Ripley's going to turn on her, which she will, which is good. More foreshadowing for that. And you know what? I genuinely found it that she was a more sympathetic babyface because of it, because she's willing to fight for the team, even though the team doesn't really want her to fight for them, which was cool. I thought this match was pretty good as well. I think that Liv Morgan has improved, oh my God, so much, in the fact that she went pretty much toe-to-toe with Sasha Banks in this match. It was great.
Yeah. I don't really have too much to say about it. You know, it was like a lot of these matches are just like, yeah, they're good, decent little matches, but I don't really take moments of the matches and like really latch onto them. You know, like Sasha Banks had a really good sell of Liv Morgan's little side codebreaker thing. That was neat. But otherwise, like, none of the spots in the matches matter for the story. So, like, I don't know, my eyes just kind of glaze over as I'm watching SmackDown half the time.
For sure. It's led to probably my favorite moment on the show.
Totally natural, as you do.
I don't know what it is about this one. Obviously, it's well known that this is how WWE stars watch the TV, right? I think it's just because it cut to that, and it's just that they're on both sides of the TV, you know? It's like they're not even together watching the TV. They're on separate sides of it, looking out of the most peripheral point of their vision at the TV.
And also standing like 8 feet apart.
It got me so good.
Just having a conversation with someone like on the other side of the room.
Oh, so funny. Anyway, finish of this match was Banks hit a huge superplex onto Liv Morgan, but Morgan just managed to roll her up afterwards. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, shock victory. Morgan gets the win. Hey, it's a champion getting pinned, but I feel like it served the story really well for this one. At least it's a tag champion in a singles match. That's something. And also, I feel like it aids in getting Liv Morgan more over as a babyface, kind of that sympathetic babyface quantity. She's willing to fight for the team that doesn't want her anymore, before she's inevitably going to get turned on Monday.
Because she's a dumb babyface that can't see this breakup coming. A naive babyface, perhaps?
Yeah. I can see it being like someone who's just like in denial, right? Which, like,
sure,
I can see.
I feel like if you're in denial, you're more self-aware of the situation. You're aware of more because you're not willing to accept the information. I feel like she's partially like oblivious. She's like naive to it. She's like, no, we're still a team. As opposed to like, yeah, we're still a team. We're still a team, right? It's like Hangman Page after Kenny Omega broke up with him. And for like a week, for like a month, he was just like on commentary, like, yeah, we're still a team. I'll talk to him next week. You know, we're still a team. You know, it's like that. We're still a team.
It's still good.
It's still good. It's still good. This team's still good. I like this direction. I like Liv Morgan. I would think that like Liv Morgan pinning Sasha Banks clean would be like a really big deal. It was just like, yeah, she won a match. It was cool. It was good. I mean, I don't need them to necessarily make it the main event of WrestleMania or something, but like, I don't know. I think pinning Sasha Banks should be like special.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. After that, we got the main event segment. Okay. So this was promoted, of course, across all of Raw, and of course, across all of SmackDown.
This segment was promoted for 5 hours.
5 hours of promotion. Roman Reigns reveals the next step for the unified, undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So out comes Roman Reigns and says, well, I can't do much more, but the Usos, they could unify the tag titles. Roman.
Whatever.
My guy.
Whatever.
What are you doing with your title, Roman? That is what we want to know. Look, I explained this in my edited review. I said that the Usos unifying the tag titles is a really cool B plot for the Bloodline. That's a really nice little underpinning story. I think that's a cool thing for the Usos to do. I like that as a side plot, a B plot for the Bloodline. That's cool. Gives the Usos something important to do. Roman needs to be the A plot, though. And there ain't nothing happening. Granted, we can probably see where it's going next. But Roman's explanation of what the A plot is going to be is, I've done everything, so
yeah,
I guess I'm done. You know, like, what?
Yeah, it's The Rock in 2003. It's like, that's it. I've done everything.
Yeah.
Checklist complete. Platinum trophy.
So weird. Shinsuke Nakamura came out to interrupt. Obviously after Rick Boogs got injured at WrestleMania. So I assume, because he acted very stupid here, Roman Reigns gave him a hug and he was like, what? Why are you hugging me? And then got super kicked by the Usos, because of course he did. So I assume we're going to be getting Shinsuke versus Roman at Backlash. I don't care, because they have done nothing to build Shinsuke as a threat. I love Nakamura, but they haven't treated him like a legitimate threat in years at this point. So
literally since he lost to AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
Right? Yeah. And that was 4 years ago.
Yeah. Like, you can't just say he's a main eventer. Like, at least when Cesaro faced Roman, they spent half the year like having him not lose first. This guy got pinned on WrestleMania like 5 days earlier. Can we have people who win get the title matches? I've beaten a dead horse here. I will enjoy watching Roman Reigns face Shinsuke Nakamura. I will get enjoyment out of that.
Yeah.
It's about all I can really say about all this, you know? It's like, there's really no story here. Granted, it's week 1, so there's time, but I don't really think they're going to build an interesting narrative about Roman Reigns and Shinsuke Nakamura. Sorry. You know? It's just, I don't know, it's weird. This weird little backlash that I'm not really prepared for.
It's weird. It was, you know what, like, I'm sure it'll be a good match. I'm not invested because they've done nothing to really promote anyone as a legitimate contender to Roman Reigns, especially Shinsuke.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since we had any kind of development for the bloodline. Like, we didn't have any Usos, Roman, nothing for months. Like, ever since Brock Lesnar came back, Roman's been distracted from the Usos. Hopefully, this B plot of go get the other belts. I want to get the red belts and the blue belts and make purple belts. Get that. Hopefully that'll lead to something, but at the same time, like, they won the SmackDown tag titles and it led nowhere. So I don't have faith that winning the Raw tag titles will be any more significant.
Yeah. Anyway, this show was
right. It's not that bad of an episode of SmackDown, but the series SmackDown sucks. I can't get into the storytelling, even if they have an episode that's like not half bad.
Yeah. I thought this was a 3 out of 5 show.
Yeah.
It was noteworthy. Some stuff happened. The in-ring quality I thought was decent. It was all right. 3 out of 5 show. Better than it has been in the past couple months.
Better than Raw.
Better than Raw this week.
Count your blessings.
Yeah.
Could have been worse than Raw.
Could have been worse than... Can you imagine if it was worse than Raw? Oh, crikey.
Always possible. There is no floor. They can continue to sink deeper. The show can get worse.
Can. Anyway, before we get into the rest of your Ultra Chats, send those into WrestleTalk.com/support. We have to say thank you to some very special people. Those are our $25 and above Pledgehammers on our Patreon page. If you've not been to Patreon, you should. Patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Bunch of extra bonus content up there. Poll is up right now, which I believe ends tomorrow for WrestleTalk Extra for this month. I believe currently in the lead is NXT TakeOver Dallas, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Love that show. So yeah, that's got Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. What match
Shinsuke would never be so cool in WWE again.
I know.
His first night. It's the first night. It's the Sami Zayn match, and it's the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
That's it for Shinsuke Nakamura. Maybe winning the NXT title against Samoa Joe or something, but like, those are the two moments that are like actually legendary.
Yeah, for sure. But regardless, if you pledge at the $25 or above tiers, get your own custom wrestling nickname, and it gets read out on a show much like this one. So thank you to Michael in the Bank,
the Superior Dinosaur, Tom Greatorix. Close enough, yes. Yeah.
Too Lot to Handle, Lottie McCulloch.
Yeah. Stacking them dubs, Junior Janpra Dub. There's new names in this one this month, and I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen these before.
NJ Hornsberg.
Yeah. Mad Mac, the Meat Father.
Yeah. The $100 Man, CD Horver.
Yeah. Andrew Gifford, the Big Red Dog.
Yeah. The Kessel Run, DX Solo.
Yeah. Ryan Disco Stewart. Yeah.
Super Kick, Nick Mizesko.
Yeah. And Double L, Liam Leonard. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you so much to all of our pledge hammers over on our Patreon page. Go visit there at patreon.com/WrestleTalk right now. Let's get into the rest of your Ultra Chats here. Oh my God, there's a lot. I just scrolled down. Mayor of Painesville, Dan, said, hey guys, I'm not here live today as I'm watching the new Dumbledore movie. Good luck. But I wanted to share my Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser thoughts. I think it was fine. Great vignette. Good showcase. Proud of my boys. Time will show what happens. Gear was Austrian. That's optimistic, Dan. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think they care about Austria.
I've talked about good Gunther and Ludwig and the whole deal enough.
Yep.
Shout out. I want a whole stable made of just people named after the Koopa Kids. I want it cool. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people have made this point online of the whole vaguely Nazi thing going on with them.
Yeah.
And they're wearing red now. And the fact that the graphic said Gunther invades SmackDown, it's like, you chose that wording for a reason.
Yeah, you're leaning into this a little bit, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just, yeah. And the fact they're wearing red now, like it's...
yeah.
It's dicey. That's all I'll say. It's dicey.
High society content here.
Yeah. Musket Meerkat said, hey guys, SmackDown was mid and Rampage was great. In other news, water is wet. Also, fun fact, with the call-up and name change of Raquel, there are now 5 people on the main roster with the initials RR, 6 if you include NXT. Props if you can name them all.
I can't name them all, but Robert Roode is one.
Yeah, Robert Roode. Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Ricochet.
Ray? No, that's not his name anymore. I was going to say Ray Rowe.
No, not his name.
Eric does not start with an R.
Riddle.
Randy Orton. I've given up. Roman Reigns, Rhea
Ripley, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, we're
Ronda Rousey. Everyone's much more knowledgeable than we are.
I've shut off my brain from SmackDown. Yeah. I'm not thinking about SmackDown anymore.
Tell me about it. C. Cobain said, just wanted to say, notice your Blue Jays jersey / hat. Got to say, as a huge Yanks fan, I have to say the Jays look extremely dangerous and will probably take the East. Also, Miz versus Cody on Raw. Why?
Because things are never going to change and time is a flat circle and the Blue Jays are going to win the World Series.
Nice. Love it. Liam Leonard said, show was okay, but frustrating. All I'm going to say is that his Titantron, that he was invading SmackDown. Remember, his name was supposed to be Gunther Stark. I'm so sorry for bringing it up, but personally, annoys me they thought of this. Whirlipede Squad for life.
Yep. Nice. No, you're not in it. Sandy and I and Liam. We're the Whirlipede Squad. Get out of here.
But for life, Tempest.
Oh, yeah, that's our thing.
Legit Underboss said, just counting down the days till Italian-born Fabian Eichner gets put with Tony D and renamed something stupid like Frankie the Bull or Johnny Numbers. Sure.
It could happen next week.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're so lucky you don't have to watch this stupid show anymore. This last one broke me. This last one broke me. NXT was... It's not good.
Walter lost.
He did.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shawnee Coe said, we could have had Peter England in BCC. Instead, we have a sulky, scrappy do. What a waste.
I know which one I would prefer watching.
Me too. Mod Amanda has used her mod chat for April to say, found it annoying that WWE keeps using this bizarre phrase from Roman. So check it out. Go to islandofrelevancy.com. One of the more amusing $12 I've ever spent. Islandofrelevancy.com.
Everyone should go there.
Everyone should go to islandofrelevancy.com right now. Great stuff.
Shout out to you, Amanda.
Well done, Amanda. Well done. That's really good. Trey Stuckey said, don't know if this has been said. Oh, this is onto the subject of Rampage now. Trey Stuckey said, don't know if this has been said, but dream booking for Yuta. He beat Scorpio Sky at All Out for the TNT title, ending his undefeated streak. First feud after that, maybe Trent if they haven't had their one-on-one match before then. Thoughts?
I think Wheeler Yuta would be a very good TNT champion. I don't know that I want to see Scorpio Sky hold the title until All Out.
No, me neither.
That feels like a long time.
Yeah. Kimchi Cowboy said, Hook squashes Danielson via roll-up after he kisses his wife and is surprised. Wait a second.
I don't know.
I'm missing something?
Baby. It's over my head.
Yep. Atten said...
Yeah, this is the Sheamus thing. Brian kisses his wife.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Took a second.
Atten said, Sammy and Ty versus Jungle Boy and Anna Jay. Sounds bad. Just goes right out there.
I don't think the match would be bad. I don't
the
necessarily want to
match would
see
probably be
that.
really
I don't
good.
want to see that rivalry happen.
No, not at all.
No.
No.
It'd be a fun match, though. I
Yeah, it
like
would
all
be.
those people.
Brett J. Rasmussen said, can you two please explain to me why you don't like Dan Lambert and crew? Myself, along with Luke and Ollie, and probably others, do like them. I love Sami and Ty. It seems like they've replaced Cody and Brandy for the crowd to boo, sadly. Loved Yuta versus Moxley.
I feel like a lot of the time, Dan Lambert's promos and Dan Lambert's segments don't advance any particular story. It feels like a waste of time when he's on screen. He's just talking. Like, they talked about Scorpio Sky getting a title opportunity, but like no steps were taken to actually getting him the title shot. He just talked about it for like 3 months. And I can only hear him say that Tony Khan is a con man and Cody Rhodes sucks and Brandy Rhodes is a hooker or something. I also don't appreciate old white men saying sexist and potentially other-ist things about anybody. It's not what I want to see in my wrestling. I don't want to see that, personally.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not fun. AEW's fun.
Exactly. It's not fun. That's my beef with it. Punk Rocks and Soda said, not sure if it's said enough, but Willow Nightingale is just so goddamn good, and I need her signed. If I was there live, and she may have been one of the most over people at the whole show. She is someone you can seriously build an entire division around. She is great.
She's got star power. She's got real star power.
She does. It's a great look. Plan R said, commentary made sure to remark that Dragon started using the Gotch style power driver after fighting Murder Grandpa. Am I wrong to think that this is foreshadowing Suzuki Gun versus BCC with Samoa Joe in blood and guts because I'm getting my hopes up for it? Don't.
Well, I had not considered that as a possibility.
No.
But I have now.
I also don't think it's going to happen.
No.
I think it's just Danielson wanted to use the Gotch style power driver. They've got Suzuki on the show. It's a nice link, so they referenced it rather than this is building to something.
But if it is.
Johnny Garcia said, hey guys, a reminder, Battle of the Belts 2 will be pre-recorded after Rampage. I'll be there live. Also, please check out Wrestle Lost on Twitch where we're doing our My GM competition. It's hair versus beard. #jam that jam. Nice. My GM's fun.
Which of those two would you put on the line, Pete?
Hair or beard?
Yeah.
It's a really tough call, honestly, Tempest. I might have to go hair, though. It's going to be a big change. Big change for me. But...
Much shorter cut.
Yeah. For sure.
A lot quicker.
Andrew, the Last Airbender, said, F the trolls. If any fans of WrestleTalk don't like Pete or Tempest, don't watch. There's no excuse to harass and wish death on them. It's gross. Support WrestleTalk. Be kind to each other. Spread love. Real fans appreciate you. Don't let them win. I agree.
What Andrew, the Last Airbender, said.
Yeah.
Don't
Thanks,
be dicks. Yeah. Positivity.
Misha Sumra said, can't watch live, but just wanted to say how much I'm loving Professor Tempest doing long-form content on PFK. More, please. Stay safe, you fantastic dudes. LIW 444 life. We know our Tribal Pete is the spiritual champion. Sure. I definitely didn't lose fairly at WrestleMania.
Got the Jam That Championship, the interim championship, the spiritual championship. Too many championships.
I know, right? Tell me about it. Also, someone I forgot to mention Tempest on air. If you're a Pledgehammer, you'll already know this. Me and Tempest lost Wrestle League.
Yeah.
We have to do a music video together.
I mean, if I had to do it with someone, at least we're a team.
LIW. Representing.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Also, the other music videos are coming. Tempest's original one and Laurie's is still coming. Don't worry. It's in progress. It's just very, very delayed because Laurie's been a busy boy. But anyway, Musket Meerkat said, I've seen you guys interacting on Twitter with people from Achievement Hunter like Jeremy and Aaron, and with Tempest reference in the recent list video. Just curious if we'll ever see a sort of crossover between Achievement Hunter and WrestleTalk. # Jeremy Dooley for Quizzlemania. I would love that, personally. That Quizzlemania right there. And also, maybe. We'll see.
Unconfirmed. No comment.
Colin Killick said, was there Wednesday, and FTR Young Bucks was the best match I'd ever seen live for about 45 minutes until Yuta Moxley. The fact that a stadium full of people were chanting for Moxley to tap is incredible. What a match and what a storyline.
Yeah, especially right now to be able to not like turn them against Jon Moxley, but to have someone else that they are rooting for more. That's impressive.
Nate S said, just wanted to really enjoy your streams. You guys are a couple of favorites. Among many favorites on the YouTubes and Twitters. Keep up all the good work. I was typing this prior to Pete's Danhausen take. May have to edit now. Lol. Peanut is on the up. I never made that connection. So you know the whole Peanut thing, right? That's been happening. We haven't been on a podcast for so long. It feels like it's been forever.
It has been forever.
Yeah. So the whole Peanut thing just came up because it came up in the office one day where Luke misheard what Andy said. And he was like, did you just say Peanut? That's a great nickname for Pete. And then mentioned it on a podcast that my new nickname is Peanut. And I hated it. But now we already had a thing on No Rosbada, Peanuts on the up. So now Peanut apostrophe S. Peanut's on the up.
You're on the up, Peanut.
I'm on the up.
I don't know what that means. I don't really want to find out. Thank you for your Ultrachats.
Yeah.
I'm going to go watch baseball.
Anyway, that's going to do it for the Ultrachats. That's going to do it for the show. We overran. Rampage was really good. Sorry. Thank you for watching. Really do appreciate it. Play the videos on the screen in a minute. Stay tuned. Subscribe to WrestleTalk Podcast if you haven't already. Subscribe to partsFUNknown as well. We just hit 200,000 subscribers over the weekend, and we've got a new episode of the Monday Night War going up on Monday. And also, you should watch Tempest's video of the Rise and Fall and Rise Again of Ring of Honor, because part 2 just went up like yesterday. So, go watch that.
Please do. Share it around.
Yeah.
We can make more fun content like that. If it gets more views, more money, we can do fun things, whatever you want. We're talking about New Japan. I'll do it. Whatever you want. Just watch the videos, please.
Yeah. We want watch our creative stuff. Watch the Monday Night War. Watch the essays on PFK. Go do that, because that's the stuff that makes us happy more than anything else.
It's fun. It's not like
fun.
SmackDown. Wrestling should
fun,
be fun,
man. I like doing fun stuff. Anyway, goodbye. Jam. AEW for life, etc. Bye.
Signing off.